Hey, welcome to the Sports Reverends podcast. My name is Dan.
And my name's Drew.
We're no experts, but we are
the Sports Reverends.
Hey, we are back for the Sports Reverends podcast. How are you doing, Coach?
Coach is good. It's been a little rainy here, but it's summer, baby. Can't complain.
How are you doing, Drusuf?
Doing good. Still getting out golfing, but it was a little wet today. But we got through it.
I'm doing good as well. My beard is slowly but surely coming back, so that's good. I got the little bit of it's been about 3 days, and I finally got the, the 5 o'clock shadow. So I'm happy about that. Let's get into some news around the sports league. And there's some good stuff. And on this day, in 2009, 11 years ago, I can't believe this, 24 teams passed on this guy in the Major League Baseball. His name is Mike Trout. Drew, can you just tell the world what Mike Trout's legacy will be at the end of his career?
Well, Mike Trout is on pace to be at least top 5 players of all time. Some would even argue he's getting up to the untouchable Babe Ruth as far as impact on the team. Like, if you look at his wins above replacement, he's just blowing guys away with his first I think he's been in the league 7 years now. Just amazing player, does it all, 5-tool player, just needs to get in the playoffs to show on the big stage what he can do. I think he's only had one wild card game, maybe one best of 5 series.
Can't remember.
But yeah, one of my favorite players to watch. Actually, on our honeymoon, we went to go see him play, and it was a rest day for him.
No.
We sat in the stands, we bought his jersey, everything, and then they announced the lineups, and he wasn't playing. He wasn't hurt or anything. It was just a rest day. So disappointing. Fight Island has been revealed in Yas Island in Abu Dhabi. The first fight will be on July 11th. 3 titles will be up for grabs.
UFC, baby. UFC is cranking out fights left, right, and center.
I watched a couple interviews with Dana White today, and wow, that guy is not a cool guy at all. Him, and he's fighting with John Bones Jones and Conor McGregor and some other guy I can't pronounce. And he's he just is the most arrogant guy I've ever heard, I think. I'm just putting that out there.
I used to hate Joe Rogan because I always confused him and Dana White together. And it's so weird, right? But Joe Rogan's a good guy based on his pods. But I just used to absolutely hate him. So I'm like, oh, this is Dana White. Oh, what?
Okay, back to our quick hitters. These haven't been that quick. Todd Gurley passes his physical for the Atlanta Falcons. That means he is going to go. I'm saying Todd Gurley is going to be a reliable fantasy football player. Okay, that's my take. Reliable fantasy football player. Not a top guy, but reliable.
RB2.
The MLBPA is proposing an 89-game season at full prorated rate.
On this day in 2001, this is June 9th, okay? 2001, Ray Bork, after 23 NHL seasons, won his one and only Stanley Cup with the Colorado Avalanche.
And to end it off, a legendary moment 21 years ago, the manager of the Mets, Bobby Valentine, asked the ump if he could speak his mind without getting tossed. The ump said yes. Bobby spoke. Bobby got tossed. And then he came back a couple innings later to the dugout with a pair of sunglasses and a fake mustache. The league fined him $5,000, and I say that is well worth it. And now a word from our sponsors.
Have you ever thought about how well your investments are performing? Have you wanted to understand how the stock market works and how you can look after your financial future, but have been unsure of where or even how to get started? Train to Invest is North America's leading investment education and training corporation, with the sole purpose of providing a new way of thinking about wealth management. Through teaching, training, and coaching individuals in both the art and science of self-directed investing, Train to Invest offers a complete education and training experience to empower families to begin their journey of planning for future generations through investment education. To find out more, look at www.traintoinvest.com and download our free ebook. Again, www.train2invest.com to find more information about our program and download our free ebook.
All right, we are ready, and we got our special guest with us. The one, the only, the lefty, the best lefty shooter at Linden Christian School, Jon Brothers.
Hey.
How to be?
All right,
Man.
Jon, how are you doing, brother?
I'm good. How are y'all?
We're good. We're good. So, Jon, okay.
I have to say, I must not be that good of a shooter if you think I'm lefty, because I'm righty for sure.
Oh my! I totally ruined that. That's
all
that.
right.
My bad. I was a lot younger though, so. Jon Brothers, the first story that my brother told me about you when you were playing basketball at Linden was that you were a step in from half court and just bombing trays. Is he boosting you on how good of a shooter you are, or are you the real deal? Were you Steph Curry before Steph Curry?
Man, I was Steph 1.0.
Yes.
He definitely upgraded me. But yeah, I was the king of stupid shots. That's for sure.
I love it. I love it. Okay, well, why don't you start out by just telling us a little bit about yourself, a little bit about what you do and where you are and all that stuff. We don't know anything about you.
All right. I'm Jon Brothers. I actually was high school teammates with Joel, and we played ball back at Linden, and had a good time. Lots of fun memories we've been talking about earlier today. But I'm now a pastor in South Florida. I'm the senior pastor at Osprey Church in Osprey, Florida, and I coach middle school girls and guys basketball, and I'm a chaplain for varsity guys and girls basketball, and I'm a ref for rec guys and girls basketball, and I'm involved with a ministry called Fellowship of Christian Athletes, which is a on-campus ministry to students and coaches here in our public schools down here in Florida. It's all over the world, really, but I'm involved down here. So love sports for sure.
So yeah, you love sports. That's easy to say, right?
Absolutely.
All right, great. Continue on. Tell us a little bit more.
Yeah, so I played basketball my whole life, played football when I was younger. I always kind of thought it was a waste when I got older, and, you know, you get kids and a wife, and sports takes like second, third, fourth place after work, and kids and wife and all this stuff. And so I was kind of frustrated thinking, man, I wasted all these years getting good at sports, and God started to kind of insert all those things back into my life. And so I've been able to use sports for ministry for really the last 10 years. I can think of multiple kids that I had relationships with and was able to influence their lives because I beat them one-on-one, or because I told them how to make a form tackle, or because like Joel, they walk in the gym and see me shooting from half court, and there's kind of something novel about who's that guy that doesn't look like a basketball player, looks too old to be out here, and he's stroking threes. And so God's allowed me to use that in some pretty cool ways. And so I'm excited to see how that keeps going. I'm actually yesterday was doing open gym basketball stuff with my daughter's school, and I'll be doing it again. I'll be coaching guys basketball through the summer. And so stay busy with basketball for sure, despite the fact that football was probably my first love. So I'm more built for football.
What's your favorite football team and basketball team?
So we're in the South, and this is gonna be weird. I know that college sports where I am are like 100 times more popular than pro sports. So I'm going to give you two of each. College football is Georgia Bulldogs. I'm a huge fan just because my wife is a Georgia Bulldogs fan and she converted me.
Nice.
NFL, I'd have to say Tampa since we pulled Brady down here. We're going to be rolling this year. I don't know what we did, but I like it. So I'm pretty excited to see him in the hometown down here. Basketball, I'm a huge Kentucky fan. I got the Rajon Rondo jersey on, Antoine Walker in the background. Like, if you see the rest of my office, it's covered in Kentucky stuff. So I'm a huge Kentucky basketball fan. And then I'm really I was a Pelicans fan when AD was there, but now I'm struggling because Zion's from Duke, and I can't cheer for Zion.
Yeah.
So I'm struggling. I think I'm a Miami fan. I like Tyler Hero, so I'm a Miami fan.
Okay. I like that. Okay, before we get into any basketball, I got to ask you a football question here. How far does Tampa Bay go this year?
Ooh, that's tough. So I'm going to tell you what I want and tell you what I think. It's two different things. In my heart, I hope that they can go to the Super Bowl. Like if we can get Brady to play one more year, like out of his mind as a old dude that really shouldn't be throwing the football anymore, but he's killing it.
Got all the weapons.
We'll go far.
Yeah.
But I really think, honestly, like looking at the situation, he's going to be washed up, and it's going to be kind of like watching Kobe in the last year. Like you could just tell he didn't have gas in the tank anymore, and it wasn't his fault. It's just it's spent, man. You're done
all the time. That's right.
I think that they're going to be a first round out like this year with New England, and I think that's why. Like Belichick's a genius, man. He let him go for a reason. So that's kind of my thought. I love Brady, but I don't know.
Okay, I gotta ask this now: is it the greatness of Belichick, or was it Tom Brady?
I shouldn't open this can, man.
I know you did. I've been having this debate with these two guys, and they're all like, "It's Tom Brady." And I'm so
hard about that. I'm gonna answer your question with a question.
Okay.
Is it all Michael Jordan, or did Phil Jackson make a big difference?
I'm putting my money. I'm putting my money on Michael. I'm just saying.
Hey, man. Yeah, but look at the Lakers. Shaq could do nothing in Orlando. Look at Jordan before. Like we just
Tex winners, baby. It's Tex winners. It's all Tex.
Tex winners.
Tex ran everything.
There you
go. He had the
baby.
mind. He just couldn't teach. So I think that's what it came down to. But no, I do think it's a mix. I think you can't separate the two. I think that this will give you the answer. I think Belichick's gonna have more success going forward than Brady will. So
all right. Yeah, that's the big question. I think that's going to be so fun to watch. I think it'll take Belichick a couple seasons to bounce back with that roster they have now, but
they're still in a terrible division though.
That's true.
Yeah,
like Brady's going to a pretty good division in the NFC South.
Well, and think back to the Jimmy G days when Brady was suspended and they were still killing it. Like
4-1.
It's
early 2000s Matt Castle and 11.
Yeah, the Matt Castle year too.
So
he's a magician.
Okay, I wanted to tease a little bit of the gospel of sports that we're working on. You shared a story about a certain individual that you kind of was able to impact, and someone that's impacted you. Do you want to just touch on that? Give a little tease to the fans.
So there's two. I'll be honest. I'm a pastor today, and I probably should share this more with the guy himself. I'm a pastor today in large part because of my coach at Linden Christian, Nick Jansen. Wow. And you say, man, how could that be? He's just coaching you in basketball. I can remember, my dad was a pastor. I had a youth pastor. I had multiple youth pastors. But the person who made a true impact on me in my life as a young person, as a young man, was Nick Jansen. And it wasn't, man, he's such a great coach. And he did things all on the season. Like he would do little devotionals and he would pray at the end of every practice and the end of every game. All of that seemed like a waste to me until one really key thing happened in my life. End of my junior year, playing basketball in the driveway, I shattered my elbow. I was in the hospital. Stayed in the hospital like 2 weeks, and I can remember a few friends from school came, and my parents, my dad was my pastor, so obviously he came. But then the only other adult like of any influence in my life that came was Nick, and he showed up to the hospital, and he had Larry Bird a Dennis Johnson, and a Kevin McHale Fleer basketball card in his hand to give me. Now, knowing now, those cards are like a nickel a piece. They're not valuable cards. They're not a big deal. Yeah. But it hit me that he knew I was a Celtics fan. Yeah. He knew that I was hurt, and he knew that he could make an impact. And I don't think he knew what an impact he made, but it was like eternal, man. Like I'm a pastor today in large part because of that one gesture. And so
how did that play a role? How did that play a role in the person that you got to impact?
Okay, so it's funny. I actually just recently, so I have a huge sports cards collection. And so that God brought that to my mind, what an impact that Nick made by giving me those cards. And so with this whole COVID-19 thing, all the guys that I've been coaching and all the guys I've been working with at our Y, I haven't been able to connect with them. And so I actually took some cards and made these little framed, little kind of souvenir things to give to the guys. And here's what I did is I took each one, and they're all basketball players. I said, here's 3 guys that remind me of you. Like one kid, I said, this guy, Patrick Beverly is you because you are a pesky defender and you drive people crazy and you like that fact about yourself, and little things like that. And so I did 3 cards for everybody. And you're talking about teenage boys. Like if you ever interact with a teenage boy, you give them $1 million and they're just gonna like dead face you, like okay, thanks. Like there's nothing. Yes. But like the look of like impact on these kids' faces, I knew this was a moment that they're gonna remember. And so one of those guys that I made one of those packs for is a kid named Jay Dan. Jay Dan is such a cool kid. I've known him for the last 3 years. I've actually never coached him because his dad keeps coming and poaching him off my team. Every time he gets on my team, his dad coaches and is like, no, I get Jay Dan. He's on my team. But he's been around me. He helped me ref this last year. And so I've just been able to spend a lot of time with him. And God just put it on my heart to like be intentional to really build into this kid and be a blessing to him. He's an African-American kid in a community that's predominantly white. And I've witnessed with my own eyes him with a group of other kids getting like run out of the mall because they're, just there. Like they're not doing anything. It's just people don't want anything to do with them. And so I took it on myself to say, I want to spend some time with this guy and get to know him. And long story short, God used our relationship. Jay Dan, just this past March, actually, just a couple months ago, came to me and told me he wanted to go and spend some time talking with me because he wanted to find out how he could follow Christ.
Unreal.
And start to live a life for Jesus. So very cool stuff.
Awesome. So that's just a little tease of what the Gospel of Sports is going to be all about. Different sports reverends who love sports and how sports impacted their faith journey and how it impacts their past and future. Present and future. So that's amazing. Thanks, Jon, for sharing that. Coach, you want to intro our NBA talk?
Yeah, lots of things the NBA to talk about. Last pod, we talked about the race for the 9th and 8th seeds, and I'm going to get Jon's opinion on those. We're also going to toss it out there and see who everybody's regular season MVP, defensive player, rookie of the year, most improved, and just kind of chat about that. So, Jon, since you're our guest here, the floor is yours. Who do you think is to end up 8th and 9th here in the West?
Oh, man, that's tough. It is, man, major logjam there.
Absolutely.
Sheesh. The Spurs, so LaMarcus right Aldridge. Yeah, sorry, what, Drew?
I didn't say anything.
Oh.
As always, I'm unprepared for this segment.
I was just going to say the Spurs, LaMarcus Aldridge has underwent season-ending surgery, so I'm assuming the Spurs are losing the streak of 20 years of playoffs.
It's really hurting.
Coach,
that was a long shot already.
Yeah.
You know what, Jon, you're a guest on the show, so I'll allow you to take your shots. But just know it's dear to my heart, okay? It's dear to my heart.
Well, you're a guest on this show, too.
That's right. You haven't passed the probation period, all right? You're not even in the intro yet.
So I'll say this. If I can choose who I want to go, I want to see Devin Booker shooting threes in the playoffs. But I know that ain't happening. So they're done. They're too far out. They'd have to win every game and still have to lean on the Grizzlies and the Trailblazers falling down. I mean, you look at the bottom half of the West. If you bet against Dame, you haven't watched basketball in the last few years.
Yeah.
Dame's going to go in Dame time, and I think it's going to be Grizzlies 8, Blazers 9, but then the Blazers are going to beat them 2 in a row, and the Blazers are going to be in the playoffs. Grizzlies are going home.
I
I love
that
John
pick.
Morant, but he hasn't, man. He doesn't know what it's like to play against Dame in the playoffs.
That's right.
Kids, man, he's cold-blooded.
Preach. Let's go. I like
What do you
that.
think about
East,
that?
man, it's over. The Wizards are just there. It's like a gimmick. Like, oh, the East have 1-2, but Bradley Beal's a good guy, but Bradley Beal's like a 2 or a 3. He can't be the main guy, and I think we saw that this year with the Wiz. They played well. I think they overachieved in a weak East, but it's done. Clutch time, you got to have performers. You got to have stars. They got one, and he's not going to be able to handle it. I think they might get in. I mean, obviously they're going to be in the play-in game. They're the only one that can be there. But
They have to get
Magic,
to 4 games back to even get to the playing game. I don't think they'll even do that.
I think they may. They could maybe pull that because those first 8 games, isn't it 8 games they're going to play?
Yep.
Everybody's going to be kind of like coasting, like the guys that are in. And so like you look at the East, all these teams feel like they're in. I think that if I'm coaching the Magic, for example, I'd rather work hard in one game than try to win a bunch out of this 8. So I'm going to try to win the one play-in game and then be done with it.
True.
Plus, I know I can dump the ball into Vooch, and they can't do anything. The Wizards don't have anybody that can stop Vooch. It's going to be over. So
I like
he's a beast.
that. I like those picks. I think for me, I'm going that the Blazers are actually going to overtake Memphis and get to the 8th, and then just win one out with Memphis, as Memphis will be 9th. And yeah, I think you're probably right. The Wizards don't squeak in. But if they get the opportunity for the play-in, if they get to within 4 games back, I wouldn't put it past Bradley Beal to just go off for 2 games. So if they squeak in, I'm saying the Wizards make the playoffs.
Yeah, it's got to be all Beal, though.
Yeah, it's got to be.
It's all on him.
Their rookie, Rui Hachimura, will be back, so he'll be a big that can at least help with Vooch. So we'll see.
I'm gonna take a step further here. I'm gonna take a step further here. I think the Grizzlies are falling out of the playoffs. I think Portland is gonna make a big run, and I think New Orleans is gonna make a big run too. They just got a lot of young guys, and I think for me, that team was cooking before COVID started. So I could easily see Dame moving up, hitting that 8th spot, and New Orleans and Portland that'd be a tough series. That's tough for New Orleans to win, but I don't think Memphis can hold this grip that they have on the 8th seed. It's really close.
Yeah.
The league may do anything they want to get Zion some more games, right? So
may see some superstar calls going that way,
and I don't mind.
Well, what I like about your call is that Zion has shown early games he's a killer, man. If you think a couple years back when he was at Duke, that game against Kentucky, we had like 4 NBA players, and we looked like we didn't know what we were doing. It was like a 50, 60-point blowout that they just coasted to. If he does that, I mean, short season might benefit him too with the injuries.
True.
As long as he doesn't put on too much weight in between.
Yeah, that's
the big.
He might have this. He could have used it to get in better shape.
If James Harden can stop going to clubs at night and just cut down his food intake and drop 20 pounds, anything is possible.
That's true.
Anything is possible.
All right, Joseph.
Well, I had this similar scenario to Joel's actually. I have Memphis coming out. I don't see them holding what they're doing. I don't like their team, like the way it's put together. I don't like the way they use Jovel down there either.
Yep.
I don't know, like they seem to only play him 20 minutes or like 25 minutes.
Yeah.
He dominates in those 25 minutes.
Yeah. Gets a double, but then he's done.
Yeah. I like Portland getting in for sure. And I think New Orleans, but I wouldn't put it past the Sacramento Kings either.
They were supposed to be so good this year, right?
I like their team. I like De'Aaron Fox. I like their bigs too. Is Bagley back now too?
Should be.
Yeah.
I like Bagley a lot too.
I like it.
I think out of those three teams, only Portland has a chance to knock off the Lakers. That's
a stretch too.
It's a stretch, but if Dame gets hot, he can,
You know what we're gonna see though this playoffs is LeBron young legs. Like he ain't had to play 40 minutes a game for the past 2 months. He's gonna come out killing.
But as a resident old man, time off can also be good too, right?
Hey, I'll take that title as long as you do too. Okay.
Hey, absolutely. I am old man here for sure. And he has said so himself that the time off may not be the best thing for him in his body in terms of his rhythm, right? So
I don't even want to hear all the excuses. If that happened, there'll be so many excuses. It'll be ridiculous.
It's LeBron James. Anything's an excuse.
Okay, let's check out what's MVP, Defensive Player of the Year, Most Improved,
and Rookie,
and Coach.
Okay, I'll go first.
Yeah, you go, Coach.
And then Coach of the Year. I think, Coach of the Year is a tough one, but I kind of like giving to the Pacers.
Come on. Okay.
Well, they have overachieved far and beyond what they should have been. Right? So hey, this is my
They got some underappreciated players there too, though.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but hey, it's
Dougie
about
McBucket's
perception.
saying.
It's about perception. MVP. This was a tough one for me because I think LeBron's been balling out all year, and I'm not a huge LeBron fan, but I don't think I can take it away from him. He's been putting the points on the board. They're first in the league, and unlike Kawhi, he hasn't really rested. So I got with LeBron there. Defensive Player of the Year. This was a tough one for me, because no one really sticks out. So honestly, I have no idea who to even put here. I have no idea. Because usually like in a year you'll see like there's a Draymond who's kind of all over the place, or Rudy Gobert. Hassan Whiteside's up there in blocks and rebounds.
Rudy Gobert shut the league down. All right, he shut the league down.
I was gonna say he couldn't keep his hands out of his mouth. And rookie of the year, I'm gonna go with Zion. I know he hasn't played a ton of games, but the excitement he's brought back to the game, just the way he's been playing. If he's there for a full year, Ja wouldn't stand a chance.
Yeah.
And my most improved has been Bam Adebayo.
I like that.
I
like that.
I think he's really stepped up that way. But those would be my picks.
Reverend Brothers, you want to go next?
Sure. Man, these are some tough picks. I'm looking here, and I want to. This is probably not a popular pick, but I like Doc Rivers at the Clippers for Coach of the Year, because that's so tough. I mean, what he did this year, getting all those heads together, getting them to play together, and then really why I think so is the way he defended his players, like the whole not conspiracy, but the whole scandal of Kawhi wanting to take breaks, and Doc stepped in and like took the heat for him. I think that shows leadership. I think that's the kind of stuff that makes a championship team. I think the Clippers are the team that's going to be difficult for the Lakers. I know that's not a hot take, obviously, but that's the reason. You got a team that he has, and he did it at Boston. I mean, you think back to when the Big Three went to Boston. He's got this ability to get like stars, like Hall of Fame stars, to take a little bit of a step back to be a part of the team, and the Clippers have been no different. Next, Rookie of the Year. This ain't going to happen, but I can make a good argument for it. Tyler Hero has stepped into a legitimate role on a legitimate team, right? Yeah. So you look at it, he's actually playing decent minutes and making a contribution on a team that's top 4 in his division. Yeah. I mean, top 4 in his conference. So I like that.
All
I think
first
it's going to
rookie
happen.
team.
Oh yeah, for sure, no question. If not, it's an anti-Kentucky conspiracy. You can't convince me otherwise.
Yeah.
But I think that it's really actually going to go to Ja, and it's going to be heated, but it's just going to be because he had more minutes. It's a bigger sample size. Zion definitely played better in the time he was in there, especially considering being injured. Mm-hmm. But there's no asterisks in the Rookie of the Year. Ja just had the better season. definitely, I think it's no question Zion's going to have the better career, though. As MVP, man, that's so tough.
Yeah.
Lakers, the reason I have a hard time giving it to LeBron is because you have AD there, too.
That's right.
You know, you could eat, like, they would basically be 1-2 in my MVP voting. And I think I would lean towards AD. Just because, and here's my reasoning. You look at the Lakers last year to the Lakers this year, one thing changed, and it was AD. And it went from not making the playoffs to good luck stopping them. Like, that's the big difference. Last one, what am I on? Defensive Player of the Year. I think you're right, Joel. There's nobody that stands out.
Yeah.
I think that I would lean towards Jimmy Butler because he's gone there. And here's the reason. He's played really well, but that's not why. He has taken a team that was terrible in defense last year, and they're a defensive stopping team now. Obviously, he's got Bam, who makes a big difference, who I also think has an argument for Defensive Player of the Year. And kind of sticking with the Miami theme, most improved. I can't even think of the guy's name. Who's stroking threes at Miami? The guy who was like a Division II prospect.
Yeah.
I'm looking at his face. I can't think of his name. Here,
Duncan Robinson.
Duncan, that's the man.
That's right.
He's got to get it. I mean, he went from nobody to like starter on that team. So that's my most improved guy. I agree that Bam has improved a lot, but I think who was most improved last year? Was it Bam last year?
Pascal Siakam.
That's right. I think Bam though had come out more last year than Duncan had. So that's my thoughts.
I like it.
For sure. Yeah, for sure.
Drew, you want me to go first or you?
I'm good to go if
go for it.
If you're okay with that. I think I've heard enough to form an opinion. So Coach of the Year, I'm looking at Nick Nurse, just for the fact that you lose Kawhi and you're still one of the best teams in the league.
Let's go.
Granted, it's the East, but still one of the best teams in the league.
The East is not that bad anymore, guys. All right,
top
it's not
heavy,
that
bro.
bad.
It's top heavy.
It's very top heavy.
The top six.
Yeah.
You still have to play against the other 6 teams or whatever 8.
I know, but look at the
math.
bottom half of the West now.
There's only that's a whole other debate.
Nick Nurse. Okay.
I like
What's
it.
next? What do you want to hear next?
Most valuable player.
Most valuable player. I got Giannis.
Yep.
He's just dominant and really good. I want to get Luka up there, but I think very close. Like I think he has one in his future for sure. Rookie of the Year, going with Ja. Just like you guys said, heart says Zion, but I
thought you were gonna say like Chris Dunn. I mean, no, sorry, not Chris Dunn. Chris. What's the guy from Miami?
We just talked about
I have no idea.
The rookie point guard.
The guy who's been hitting threes?
Oh, yeah, I know who you're talking about. Kendrick Nunn.
Kendrick Nunn, not Chris Dunn. Kendrick Nunn.
I don't think I've ever mentioned his name before.
No, you and me talk about Kendrick Nunn all the time.
No, we talk about Devontae Graham.
No, that's your next pick, but.
Okay, Defensive Player of the Year. I'm going to say AD.
Yep.
That's not a bad pick. That's not a bad pick.
Are you reading my paper?
No, I heard you said something about his defensive efficiency last time.
Yeah.
Stuck with me. I remember things.
Was my birthday.
Are we doing sixth man or no?
Oh, we forgot sixth man.
Oh,
sure. Do it.
I've got Dennis Schroeder. Or Schroeder.
Schroeder, yeah. OKC. Look at OKC.
All right. And
I'm going Lou Will for that one, though.
Yeah.
Jon Brothers, what's your sixth man?
Montrez.
Oh, man. Come back to me. I got to think about it.
Okay.
And most improved, is that the last one?
Yep.
I'm
actually
going to go with Luka Doncic.
Ooh, okay.
Oh, that's not a bad pick.
That's a good pick.
Early on in the year, I said Devontae Graham, but he's sort of fallen off the last couple weeks. I guess noticed that from fantasy basketball that he's dropped off a little bit. But Devontae Graham, but I think Luka Doncic.
I like that
his
one.
improvement from year to year has been awesome.
I like it. All right, Coach, shout out what I'm supposed to say. Pick one and I'll go.
MVP.
MVP, I'm with Drew on it. I'm definitely going Giannis. His numbers have proved he's at the number one record in the league, and he's a beast right now. So I'm going Giannis.
Defensive Player of the Year.
Drew also stole my answer for that. Definitely going AD. Look at, I love that everyone's looking at LeBron as like an MVP pick, but that heartbeat of that team is Anthony Davis. He does everything well, and he's just next level right now. LeBron, I think, has elevated him, but
it opens a lot of doors playing with LeBron, though.
Exactly, yeah. And AD makes it so much easier for everyone else. So,
yeah.
What was next?
Who's your rookie?
Rookie of the year. In 2003, arguably one of the best draft classes of all time, who was the rookie of the year? Do you guys remember?
Wasn't that LeBron?
So that was LeBron's draft class, but it was actually they tied LeBron James and Carmelo Anthony for Rookie of the Year.
Okay.
I think they're going to do the same thing for Ja Morant and Zion.
Oh, that's a hot take.
Yeah.
That's a hot take. I like it.
Because I think I agree with you. Whoever gets in, regardless, they're both going to be right there. So they'll just give it to both, even though Zion probably should get it. But
Coach of the Year.
Coach of the Year. I'm flip-flopping between two.
Nick Nurse.
Nick Nurse, yeah, definitely one. Losing two starters, one being an all-world player. But I'm also flip-flopping with Billy Donovan, taking the Thunder to a playoff spot, who everyone thought they were going to be bottom of the league, contending with the Golden State Warriors. So
that's good.
I'm going to go Billy Donovan.
Okay. Did we say most improved?
Most improved. I'm going to go Devontae Graham since Drew went with Luka. And, Devontae Graham's been outstanding for us. So,
and last one is sixth man of the year.
Lou Will, sixth man. Come on,
buddy. Yeah, buddy.
All right, my sixth man sucks, but you got to think about this, okay? He's just an instant energy guy. Like this, he's more important to this team than you realize. My sixth man's Alex Caruso. You look at that guy, what he does for the Lakers. When that guy comes in and dunks, it's no joke. Like they go off. Like I get it. He's only getting like 6 points a game.
He looks like he's 40. You know,
I can relate to the man.
Leave Ernie Johnson alone. All right.
Talk about off the board. That's off the board.
That's off the board. All right.
I like it. I like
it's
it.
Hot. It's hot. That's good.
Jon Brothers.
Don't say it's hot. That's a terrible pick. And he knows it's a terrible pick.
When you lead in with it sucks. No, I think it's Lou Will, but I just didn't want to repeat everybody else. I mean, I think it's obvious. There's not even another six man in the league that does near what he does.
You know what? Here's the strange thing though. Okay. Jamal Crawford isn't playing anywhere.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And he could easily be that six man coming off the bench.
Oh, 100%.
There are zero teams that couldn't use him.
100%.
I think it was his last game that he played. He dropped 50.
Wouldn't surprise me.
So, like, that's crazy that he's not in the league right now. No, look it up. He dropped 50 in his last game.
A guy can flat out score. Can't play defense, but he can score like nobody's business.
This league doesn't even play defense anymore, okay?
That's true.
No kidding.
Come on.
That's fair. That's
okay.
Fair.
Last question for Jon Brothers. Who takes home the Larry O.B., the 2019-2020 Larry O.B.?
Good thinking out that one.
The viewers can't see me figure out which year it was, so that's a good thing.
That's a toss-up, man, because you don't know who's disciplined. Like that's what it really comes down to this year. Who didn't go home and eat Cheetos for like 3 months?
Come on, it's all part of the scouting report, the Sports Reverends scouting report. You got to be up to date with this.
People are laying big money down, John.
It's gonna be Kawhi and the Clippers. it's gonna be that LeBron
Yes.
is not gonna be able to handle.
Yes.
Kawhi is just a wizard in the playoffs. I mean, you saw last year. I mean, you guys were watching Toronto. I think I saw your video, Dan, where he makes that shot on like that was a ridiculous shot on the Sixers.
Unreal.
Ridiculous.
Unreal.
And that same guy's coming back and fresher.
Thank you.
It's gonna be tough.
Thank
That's
you.
gonna
And
be.
he's got Paul
tough.
George now
He's got-
too.
and a deep bench.
3 Finals
Yeah.
MVPs for 3 different teams, but man, it's come.
I will say they're going to be playing against the Miami Heat in the finals.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Okay.
I like it. That's a hot take, Drew.
Stephen A. Smith is with
yeah.
them too. Stephen A. Smith is with them too. He's all about Miami Heat
Yes.
making it, but
If they play the Pacers, they're going out first round for
no,
sure.
man. I'm not as big on the Pacers as you two on the left, but like, come on.
If DeMontis can dominate, that's a good call. But if
Gets pushed around.
if we can get Bam to stick with him, I think that's a pretty. The thing about it is, you look in the playoffs, you look at who's going to drive this team, and that's the reason why the Clippers are going to take over the Lakers. I think that Kawhi, like this is going to be rough, but I think Kawhi's a better player right now than LeBron is. He's definitely a harder worker right now than LeBron is. And
Sure.
you look in the East, there's nobody who works harder than Jimmy Butler. He might be a terrible teammate for it, but he's like 24 hours a day. He's grinding. And that
All the
shows
Raptors
in the
fans are
playoffs.
going, what about Kyle Lowry? What about Kyle Lowry? That's what everybody's in Toronto and Canada saying.
That's
Yeah,
right.
no,
I'll give you
Canada.
Cal. I'll give you Cal.
Canada. All right.
Yeah, I just see Oladipo coming back hard after this. I think
You
he's
got a lot
a
of
guy.
faith in
I think
Oladipo's knees here.
Well, I think he's a guy that will be putting work in and not eating Cheetos on the couch.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I agree with that.
He's like a Giannis. He won't train with nobody, but he'll just train hard.
Yeah.
Jon Brothers, thanks so much for coming through to the Sports Reverends podcast. We'd love to have you back. We're so excited to continue the gospel of sports with you. Thanks for the tease there. And I hope you're going to do well. I know God's got lots in store for you. And thanks for coming through.
Awesome. I enjoyed it, guys. Anytime. Thanks for having me. I had a blast with my hot takes. I promise I won't come back with Alex Caruso next time.
Peace.
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 Well, let's hear another word from our sponsors. With no sports to watch on TV, esports have been shooting off the charts. What are esports, you may ask? Well, basically, it's competitive video gaming. Esports are fun to watch, and my favorite gamer to watch is a guy named Vandalize. Vandalize plays a variety of consoles and games, including the new Call of Duty Modern Warfare and Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. What makes him so unique is that he plays these games with the controller upside down. It is a talent unlike any other. You can check his Twitch stream out, and you can find the link in the Sports Reverends Instagram bio, or you can search him up on Twitch, Vandalized, with 2 Z's or Z's. His control will be upside down. All right, we are back. Drew, let's hear a little bit about what is going on in your life and your church and all the good stuff.
Yeah, well, with the new laws in phase 2, we're able to meet with groups of 25 in our building. So our congregation's a bit bigger than that. So we call a few people and
Are you doing it lottery style?
No, it's sort of like we're telling people first come, and then we've got some people who are willing to come and then willing to go if the numbers get too high. We want to just be respectful of the laws and do what we can to keep everyone safe. But it's been nice to be back in the building. But we're still doing our pre-recorded services for online. So I'm preaching twice and leading worship twice and doing everything twice from week to week. So it's been busy, but it's been really good to be face-to-face with people again.
Cool. That's awesome. Well, we're still here in phase 1 in Toronto. So everything's just done online as well. And our youth program is taking a little bit of a hit because it's super nice out now. And no one really wants to be on Zoom anymore. I don't know about you guys, but I'm definitely over Zoom meeting. But overall, things are good. We were able to bring some tablets and iPads to some of the kids that, and some of our seniors in our neighborhood too that don't have anything. So that's been pretty cool. But we're slowly strutting along here, and hopefully we'll hit phase 2 sooner than later. Coach, tell us a little bit about everything Sports Reverends.
Sports Reverends, catch us on our Twitter, catch us on Instagram, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, catch us everywhere. Facebook, for those of you who are still old enough to use it. But like, subscribe, share with your friends. We, great pod with Jon Brothers today. And we'll try and make sure Nick Jansen hears that for some positive affirmation.
Nicky J.
Yeah, remember, help us out here. Like, subscribe, and share with all your friends. And also, please check out our website, www.thesportsreverends.com. We want to hear your picks for MVP, Defensive Player of the Year, all that kind of stuff. And also who you guys will think will win the first round in the NHL playoffs. So that's it for the social media update, boys.
Drew, did you get coached by Nick Jansen too in your varsity year?
I did.
No. You sure?
I think I had 1 year under Nick Jansen.
You forced him to retire. He had that much of you. The House of Common is 10 guys, 10 different perspectives on every and any topic. If you like to laugh, subscribe to their channel. If you like to learn, subscribe to their channel. If you like to be challenged, subscribe to their channel. All you got to do is subscribe on YouTube, and it will be one of the best decisions you can make. Check it out, The House of Common. Well, all right, everybody. We're so thankful for all your support. We'll see you later. Peace.
Peace.
Samara & Jane is an Australian-based accessories retailer with all of the latest fashion trends from around the world. Ladies, update your style game with gorgeous earrings, necklaces, and other jewelry for affordable prices. And guys, you can shop for that special lady in your life too. Use discount code SPORTSREV30 for 30% off your entire order. That's SPORTSREV30 for 30% off your entire order. Use discount code at checkout at samaraandjane.com.